It's time to talk sports with the man, the myth, the legend himself, Dan Manucci of Fox Sports, 9:10 a.m., Roc, Manuch, and Jimmy B. Dan, Happy New Year. How are you?
Happy New Year. Reporting for duty, sir. There, Brad. Happy New Year to you. Looking very dapper here this Wednesday morning.
Thank you. Just trying to impress you all the way. So that's all I'm doing.
Brother, you've already impressed us. You've got it all down, Pat. Matter of fact, they won't be able to afford you pretty soon with this new year or whatnot. I hope your agent's getting at least that minimum wage for you and that Mars bar and an apple to go with it.
I hope so, and a free haircut. Hey, all right, let's talk sports. Let's talk seriously right now because Monday Night Football, we saw Damar Hamlin collapse on the field. Let's talk about our athletes and their physique, their physical, their being healthy there. As we know, we talk about concussions, but we rarely talk about other factors out on that field, like what just happened. Our very own J.J. Watts, he had his heart pretty much reset. And some things we don't really think about with these players. We think of concussions, but not other things.
Yeah, and Brett, I think that's one of the main reasons why so many athletes, men and women athletes, with a lot of the physicals they get, they do check out everything. The EKG, the heart imaging, all of that stuff is vitally important. In your case, with J.J. Watt having to shock his heart back into rhythm, so that's concerning. So those are some of the things that, when that complete physical, just rest assured that these doctors of these teams, these colleges, and these high schools, the heart, the blood flow, that is a main part of that physical anymore, aside from just the concussions and dealing with the concussions during protocol.
Okay, so you said something very important right there, and that is about their being checked out. Do players get checked out before each game, or is it just maybe when they're not feeling well?
Pretty much, Brad, once the physical's over, if there's any kind of condition somebody might have as far as feeling dizzy or faint or hard of breathing, basically the trainers won't say anything or do anything unless you bring it to their attention. And so in the case of J.J. Watt, he started to feel a little faint, didn't feel right. They checked him right away. But these doctors, you got cardiac doctors, you got joint doctors, you got every kind of doctor you could imagine on these professional teams and these college teams as well, too. So that's pretty much a scenario where it's pretty much if the player's not feeling good, hopefully they bring it to the attention of the training staff.
Yeah, and you train a lot of young guys and who are going to be going off to college or even off to the pros and stuff.
Sure.
Is there things you talk to them about their physical well-being when they're out there on the field?
Oh, absolutely, Brad. Yeah, it's always want to make sure that they, number one thing I always make sure they do is if you're not feeling well at all, please let your parents know so they can let your doctor know. Conditioning. On top of that, their diet, their sleep. More importantly, I always get on about their grades, but if they're not feeling right at all, is to basically, and the mental piece of that too, Brad, just so you know, I had one young man that Andrew Harstead, that committed suicide about 4 or 5 months ago. And I'm on there about their health, about their mental health, about if you're not feeling right, either physically or mentally, please let your parents know, let me know, let anybody know that can help you. So I got to tell these high school doctors at every level, Brad, every sport, when you see things that happened to Damar Hamlin on Monday night for Monday Night Football, those are things that are also part of that physical moving forward with these athletes.
Yeah, very important. All right, let's talk Cardinals. Let's talk the future Cardinals, not the past Cardinals, because last time we're going to see maybe some coaching staff. What do you think?
Yeah, this is going to be a big game for a lot of people. I think you're going to be looking at general managerial changes, coaching changes. There's up to 28 free agents on this football team, Brad. So there'll be a lot of new faces, a lot of interchangeable parts. J.J. Watt's moving on. I think that David Blau has proven to be a competitive quarterback with Colt McCoy coming in next year as far as backing up Kyler Murray. We don't know when Kyler Murray is going to be back. He might be at the start of the season, or he may miss 4 games. But I think David Blau and Colt McCoy, you can rest assured, will be competing for the backup job. But, Brad, you're right. There's a whole lot of interchangeable parts that will be going out this Cardinals team going into 2023.
Yep, there it is. Before we wrap it up, I got to bring up the topic. You've been wanting to brag a little bit, and that is because you feel that your Kansas State team
Yes.
is national championship team, right? Or at least the conference champs.
Well, since TCU beat Michigan in the Fiesta Bowl, and we beat TCU for the Big 12 championship, shouldn't we be in the national championship game against Georgia over at SoFi Stadium on Monday since we beat them? I'm just sitting here thinking, and even though Alabama got after us in the third quarter, we won't talk about that. But hey, congratulations to the TCU Horned Frogs. Nobody gave them any chance to beat the Michigan Wolverines. And there they are, taking on the Georgia Bulldogs in Monday night's game. And watch out, America. Watch out for that team. Watch out for Max Duggan, quarterback for TCU, to get after all them Bulldogs. Get a Horned Frog on top of that Bulldog and make it happen.
Dan, tell them where they can find you.
You always find us from 1 to 4 on Fox Sports 910. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Or just go to @Roc and Manuch. Or you can also track me down on Twitter @QB Manuch, Manuch.
Dan, always a pleasure. Happy New Year to you, and we'll talk more sports.
Brock and Bradley, always appreciate it. We will see you next week, my brother.
All right.